Friends, I have done it. I have completed Sea of Stars and reached the true ending. Every stone turned over, every chest opened, every conch turned in, and even every quiz question answered. I've been thinking about my experience with the game, and after reaching 100% and wondering if my opinion has changed. The answer is it has not. It has only cemented my opinion that Sea of Stars is my game of the year and one of the best games to come out in 2023. This game is so good, and now that I have the full scope, I will be able to talk about it all. Yes, I'm going to talk about all the spoilers. It is necessary for me to talk about everything in order to get my points across. If you are very sensitive to spoilers, I would advise you to not watch this video. I do have a more spoiler-free video that you can watch though. But play the game and then come back. And if you don't care about spoilers or have reached completion like I have, welcome. Okay, that's your spoiler warning. Hope you listened. Let's get into it. Before I get into my personal opinions, there are those that may be wondering, how do you even get the true ending of Sea of Stars? You complete the game and get the end with a question mark, and you are left wondering what you need to do. Luckily, the game provides you with the answers. If you recall, there are 7 stone pillars in the Moorlands. You probably saw a few of them light up already. Each pillar represents a specific task throughout your journey. There's no order in which you need to complete them, but some will be longer than others. I won't describe them in great detail, but some explanation is required for some. The first and probably longest one is to turn in all 60 rainbow conches to Myrna in Dakari Village. You can turn these in at any point because you will find them during your first playthrough. Some are more obvious than others. All the rewards that you receive from her are relevant to getting 100%, but the most helpful is the falcon-eyed parrot that you get after turning in 27 conches. This parrot will allow you to check each island on both your world and Sarai's world, and when you ping them, the parrot will tell you what is missing, like a treasure or a conch in a specific location. This was insanely helpful to me because I am not the most detail-oriented person. Knowing what I know now, I wish I was more thorough during my main playthrough because there was a lot of backtracking and I even had to follow a guide. I think I'm getting too old a little bit though. After getting all 60, you will receive a rainbow star. The item itself is not relevant, but the pillar for it will light up. The next pillar is to fully build the town of Mirth. This was the side quest from Gerard the Constructionist. There are 4 buildings that are needed to complete this task. They are the inn, shop, fishing hut, and spa. If you did all the conches, you will have these plans already, but there is an additional step for completing these buildings. Each one needs someone to run it. For the inn, talk to Edgar, the guy at the inn in Lucent, and he will send over his brother. For the shop, there is a person in the southeastern house of Dakari Village that will head over after you talk to them. For the fishing hut, talk to the master fisherman inside the inn of Mooncradle. And for the spa, head to the stonemason's outpost and speak to the mole taking a bath on the right side of the settlement. Mirth will then be complete. The next pillar is to complete the Dakaria Ruins light puzzle. Talking to Rashan, or his puppet, will reveal these stars on the map, and since you will have the ability to change the day-night cycle at will, this puzzle will be fairly easy. Also, flying will help traveling as well, so probably wait until the end of the game to do this one. After the puzzle is complete, you will wind up fighting a sea slug boss. Not a hard fight at all, so you'll be able to breeze through this one. In addition to lighting up the pillar, Rashan will get his ultimate weapon, which was a really silly cutscene by the way. The next pillar is completing all of the solstice shrines. The shrine puzzles are not hard, but some of them can only be reached toward the end of the game. After all shrines are done, the final shrine portal will open up and you will have a second fight with the Elder Mist. It'll be the same fight as before, so your strategy will work with what you did for the first fight. Your reward will also give Zale and Belair their ultimate weapons, the Sun Blade and the Moon Bow. One of my favorite pillars was completing the Dweller's Fall arena quest that you get from Beast. This Coliseum is located in Brisk after it is rebuilt. It's basically a series of combat trials of varying difficulty. What makes it a little more difficult is Beast will choose the party for you and you only have those 3. No swapping and no items. Remember my point about locks from my previous video? This is where the locks get insane, but careful planning with combos and ultimates will net you a win and crown Beast the champion and give him his best armor. Another party side quest pillar is from Sarai. You have to travel to her world and find the queen that was in the Cerulean Expanse. This one requires you to pay attention to Tix's story called the Cerulean Expedition. When she says take notes, take notes. The characters mentioned each contain the correct directions. They are northeast, southeast, northeast, and east. Once those are followed, you will find a speedball to take you to the location of the queen that was. She's basically a giant robot gun and has a cool design. I was too strong at this point, so the fight wasn't hard, but it might be for you. The reward for this fight gives Sarai her ultimate weapon as well. The final pillar is one I did not expect, and explaining it could be its own video, but it relates to releasing Mirth and Aventry from Ramaya the Necromancer's control. This quest is started by talking to Hortense on the Vespertine. This quest is fairly tricky, so if you need to look up the full guide for it, be my guest, but essentially you have to find Ramaya's secret passage that will lead you to getting the yellow flame to give to the ferryman, and it will lead you to the half-sunken tower. You'll wind up running into Ramaya and fight her again, so make sure you are strong enough to fight her or have enough healing. Once you beat her, you will get Aventry's locket, you turn it into him, and he will give you the key to his crypt that will reward you with the Eclipse armor and the Aventry crest. The Eclipse armor is Zale and Valera's best armor, and Teeks will have a story to tell about that crest. So, what's the payoff after lighting up all the pillars? Oh, nothing much, just using the cookie jar you've had this whole time to open up a portal called the Chronophage and go back in time to the point right before Garl's death, have Beast take his place and take Garl back to the present to have him for the final battle. What the heck? My jaw dropped when this moment happened. My previous video stated that Garl was one of my favorite characters. He had a natural sense of making friends and was a major driving force for some story bits. A huge one being waking and befriending the giant dragon known as the Sleeper with a huge loaf of bread and renaming him Wentworth. By the way, Wentworth is Manfred's ancestor for you Messenger fans. I was very bummed when he died, but I understood the emotional tone that was being set for the end of the game. But I always thought it was weird that I never had a full party and wished that I got to see Garl's ultimate and combos with Beast. I'm so glad that this became a reality and I was overjoyed to have him back on the team. I'm also glad that he gets his big moment in his reverse funeral by inviting all relevant characters to the Golden Pelican. A piece of brisk that I had long awaited to figure out, but I had no idea how to do it. It's pretty self-explanatory by Garl, so I won't give a full breakdown of it, but I loved everyone's formal designs and the toast toward the end. It was a great emotional payoff and heartwarming as we head into the final battle. Unlike the previous ending where you fight a transformed Erlina, now that you have Garl back, he goads the Fleshmancer into fighting us himself and he very much obliged. If you spend as much time as I have doing all the quests, getting all armor and weapons, and leveling up along the way, and cooking the best meals, this fight is not hard. It's just very long. A good tip is to use Sarai's Disorient ability in the Arcane Barrage combo with Sarai and Roshan. This delays the Fleshmancer's turn and allows more hits because he has a lot of health. This was also a good fight to show off Garl's ultimate, and he has by far the best one in the game, an S tier one. He summons Wentworth and does every single damage type. It was a huge save when Sarai didn't have enough MP and there was only one turn left with 5 locks up. The bullet hell sections with Valera and Zale were fun, but not very hard to figure out. A nice spectacle. I can understand how defeating the Fleshmancer can feel a little anticlimactic. You don't really beat him, you just wear him down for Roshan to take him by the hand as he accepts defeat and leave that world. I don't really blame you for wanting a full end to Aetheril's reign, but I think I understand what Sabotage was going for. The two immortal alchemists have been locked in combat for thousands of years. They are essentially the gods of the universes they have created. I also think they have a soft spot for each other, as they don't really want to kill each other, just two sides of the same coin. Call it dark if you will, but I think it's some sort of kind of cosmic cat and mouse game that they've been doing this whole time. I'm not sure it would make any sense at this time for him to be taken out during this story. There is DLC being worked on, and I hope that there will be another story for them to tell in the future, or maybe even another game, because there is a shared universe that Sabotage has built between this and the Messenger, and Sea of Stars opened up the multiverse, so the possibilities are endless. And if there wasn't enough, the icing on this cake is using all flimsy hammers to literally break the fourth wall and meet the entire dev team at Sabotage Studio. That is such a fun Easter egg to put in and see pixelated versions of this very dedicated and talented team. Also, keep spamming the button to talk to the shopkeeper because it gets very deep. Like I said in my last video, Sea of Stars is incredible. From top to bottom, every inch of this game is polished to a pristine shine and has left me grinning. Out of all the games that I've played this year, this one will stick with me the most. I say that even without thinking about making content for it. If I didn't have this channel and I played Sea of Stars, I would still call this my game of the year. It has been said that 2023 has been one of the best years in gaming, and I'd like to think that Sea of Stars played a big part in making this happen. Thanks so much for watching this video. This was a little longer than I anticipated, but I'm glad to get it all out there. I'll most likely be making more Sea of Stars content, less essay-like and more gameplay-based, like my Moonrain achievement video, because that was a lot of fun. But what did you think of the true ending of Sea of Stars? If you made it this far, you most likely did it yourself or don't care and only wanted to hear my thoughts. Thanks for that if you did. I would love to hear any and all thoughts in the comments. Any conversation is welcome to the channel. And be sure, while you're down there, to like, share, and subscribe to see more Sea of Stars content, any game reviews, and whatever else pops out of my head. Thanks again for watching. My name is Chike, and I will see you next time. Bye.